Welcome to the Equipped Disciple channel. My name is Rick McClatchy. I will be your host. We are here to be and to make disciples of Jesus, and we do that through daily devos, through Sunday sermons, and through other discipleship resources. We are here to equip you. All right, welcome into another day of your daily devos. I'm Pastor Rick, and we are jumping into the second half of Proverbs chapter 20. Avoid this kind of person. The Bible actually periodically tells us different kinds of people that we should not spend time around. And today is one of those days where we're going to come across one of those verses that helps us to understand, hey, you know what? Sometimes there are people that are really great for you to hang around with. They're going to help you. They're going to point you in the right direction. They're going to keep you accountable. And then there's other people that are only going to cause you trouble. And so when you see these characteristics about that person, potentially make the decision to avoid hanging out, spending copious amounts of time with that person for the betterment of your own life and just kind of protecting yourself from those kinds of negative influences. So we're going to jump in and see what kind of person is Proverbs chapter 20 talking about that we should avoid. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Verse 16, take his garment, for he has put up security for a stranger. Get collateral if it is for foreigners. Food gained by fraud is sweet to a person, but afterward his mouth is full of gravel. And so I think this just speaks to you're going to reap what you sow, and you have to consider the method of acquiring things, not just the fact of whether you can acquire it or not. Can you make lots of money doing that thing? Sure, you can, but is it really morally clear? Is it morally advisable? Is it wise? Is it the kind of thing I should be involved with? Because food gained by fraud, or really any other kind of shady practices, it's awesome at the beginning. It's sweet. You're getting all this money, you're getting all this supply, you're getting all this food. But it says afterward, his mouth is full of gravel. And it's a powerful picture because I just picture, like putting something in my mouth. It's supposed to be delicious. You start chewing it and all of a sudden, ugh. Maybe you ever gotten like a grain of sand in your mouth and you're like, oh, because it feels like it's like grinding on your teeth. Imagine a whole mouthful of gravel, just nice, dusty, rocky gravel. I don't know. Sounds terrible to me. So food gained by fraud is sweet to a person, but afterward his mouth is full of gravel. So in the end, it doesn't satisfy, and it actually makes you worse off. Verse 18, finalize plans with counsel and wage war with guidance. So again, we come back to this thought process that you're just not good enough all by yourself. I'm not good enough. You're not good enough. And so we want to finalize our plans with counsel. We want to identify wise counsel in our lives and then share our lives with those people in such a way that they can speak intelligently into our lives. So just general plans finalized with counsel and waging war with sound guidance. So don't go to war unless you know why and where and who and how, like that you've actually thought it through. So don't go into war based on emotion or rashness or just reaction. Wage war with sound guidance would mean that it's well thought through, spoken about out loud. You've talked about it, kind of thinking beyond just the picture of like nation against nation war, let's talk about it on a personal level, where sometimes you kind of end up deciding you're going to kind of go to war with that person. And this is saying, hey, only wage war with guidance. Get other people involved in the process. Don't trust just your own opinion. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. There is a reason why the Bible kind of guides us away from just leaning onto our own understanding, because it's not always reliable. It's too malleable, if you would, like too shapeable. It's not concrete enough to be able to build a solid foundation on. All right, verse 20, whoever curses his father or mother, his lamp will go out in deep darkness. This is kind of the juxtaposition to the first commandment with promise. Honor your father and mother. And so it doesn't always mean obey, because as an adult, You need to adult. You need to do grown up things. You need to make decisions for your life because you're the only one that has to live with those decisions. However, they also have earned a spot in your life where they should be able to speak, and you should listen, and you should honor their opinion, and you should not speak poorly to them. You should not curse your father or your mother. And this even goes for those parents that maybe haven't earned the right to really speak into a situation. There's still a way that you can handle it without cursing them, and still coming out honoring them, honoring their position as your parent. An inheritance, verse 21, gained prematurely will not be blessed ultimately. I think the prodigal son kind of exemplified that. He took his inheritance early and just squandered it. And so there's a timing, there's a maturing, there's a process to everything. And when we cut it off, when we cut the process off, we go prematurely to the end, it's not blessed ultimately. And don't say, I will avenge this evil. Wait on the Lord and he will rescue you. That's a powerful one right there. Can I get an amen on the don't be saying I'll avenge this evil, but let the Lord rescue you. Let the Lord set it correctly. Verse 23, another one of these differing weights are detestable to the Lord, and dishonest scales are unfair. So, man, like in Hebrew poetry, the more they repeat something, the more important it is. I'm starting to think that this differing weights and dishonest scales are a situation that the Lord really wants us to be aware of, and he wants us to avoid it because he wants fairness in the application of all that marketplace stuff. He wants us to treat people fairly. He wants us to be honorable. He wants us to be people of integrity. So make sure that your weights are even, right? Make sure that your scales are not dishonest. Make sure that you're not stuffing one side of the scale so that you're selling them less stuff for the same money, or, or charging them for, more than what they bought. Like making them think that they're getting more than what they're actually getting because you put fake stuff in the bag to make it way more. Verse 24, even a courageous person's steps are determined by the Lord. So how can anyone understand his own way? And so sometimes the steps that the Lord is calling you to won't always make perfect sense to you. And that does not mean that you're going in the wrong direction. Again, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. So how can anyone understand your own ways if God's the one that has lined it out and made the plan? Because he's a little smarter than you. He's kind of a big deal. So even a courageous person's steps are determined by the Lord. So how can anyone understand his own way? Trust in the Lord. Lean into the counsel of wise counselors. Get people to give you feedback. Don't just live life on your own path and make your own decisions. Verse 25, it is a trap for anyone to dedicate something rashly and later to reconsider his vows. God is big on us honoring our vows. So, and there's a story in the Bible where I can't remember his name all of a sudden, but he makes a rash vow to the Lord. And he says, because of this great victory, the first thing that comes through that door, I will offer as a sacrifice to you. And the next thing that came out the door was his daughter. And so then he stuck to that vow. And it's a crazy story. And yikes is all I have to say. So don't make rash vows. If you're going to make a vow about something, you're going to make a promise about something, man, think it through. Process it, and then really be careful that it's something that you can follow through on so that you're not just violating vows left and right, because this would go, marriage would be a great example that some people rush into it haphazardly and then come to find out, wow, marriage is a lot of work. Marriage has some challenges to it and they weren't prepared for it. And then later they want to reconsider their vows potentially, but that's not really how vows work. A wise king separates out the wicked and drives the threshing wheel over them. Wow. That's harsh. The Lord's lamp sheds light on a person's life, searching the innermost parts. Um, and then as we take in Psalms and we see that your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path, we can see that the Lord's lamp very well can represent his word. It's a light on a person's life, searching the innermost parts. And that's one of the reasons why we do daily devos, is because we believe in the power of God. Excuse me. We believe in the power of God's word to shape us, to mold us, to reveal the things deep in our hearts. We talk about how guard your heart, for out of it flow the issues of life. And we talk about how out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, and how important what your mouth is speaking is. And so that's why we want to be in the word regularly, so that the Lord's lamp can shed light on our life and search our innermost parts and make us right, make us good. Loyalty and faithfulness guard a king. Through loyalty, he maintains his throne. Just loyalty is so important. The glory of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is gray hair. So when you're young, it's all about your strength. When you're old, it's about your wisdom. And the really powerful thing is when we can bring those two things together, and we can get old men working with the young men and helping the young men not be so dumb. Like, and that's not to be offensive to young men, right? But you're young and you don't know lots and lots of stuff. As a matter of fact, you don't even know the stuff you don't know. So to even be able to go seek it out would be challenging. Lashes and wounds purge away evil, and beatings cleanse the innermost parts. Discipline is good. Discipline is good. Don't live like a fool. So hopefully you don't have to go through lashes and wounds and beatings, but I mean, life certainly dishes that stuff out at times. All right. So we're going to jump back over to verse 19 and kind of cover again that verse we talked about at the beginning. Who are we supposed to be avoiding? Verse 19, the one who reveals secrets is a constant gossip. Avoid someone with a big mouth. So the one who reveals secrets is a constant gossip, and you need to avoid someone with a big mouth. Somebody that just can't keep a secret, just blabs about everything, just runs their mouth constantly, because that person can put everybody there around in danger. Starting fights, starting conflict, escalating things that don't need to be escalated, practically manufacturing, arguments and wars, between people. And so make sure that you're paying attention to the people that you're around and how do they manage their mouth? How do they manage their lips, their tongue? How do they control what's coming out of their mouth? Do they control what's coming out of their mouth? Or is it just a mighty river flowing out, and it's not always good stuff? So you want to avoid someone with a big mouth because they can't control themselves, and they end up starting strife and contention and frustration and irritation between people that would otherwise be getting together, be getting along. They're sowing discord among the brothers in a sense, So there you have it. We talked about all kinds of stuff today. But I just think maybe drop in the comments one of the verses that meant the most to you today, the one that you're thinking about the most, and maybe it'll bless someone else. And so thank you so much for your time today. God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.